Hello, everybody, and welcome to round one of the Superb Owl. That is where we're at here. I'm playing a Control Death deck, and they are playing a Death deck also. We love seeing the Necroceptor and the Cursed Obelisk in our opening hand. Wicked Fae is pretty solid early as well, so we'll go ahead and keep this. We see no threats in the Sanctum that are super annoying to our cause, which is good. And we will go ahead get this show on the way, lead off with a good turn one play here, which sets up potentially value with the Necroceptor or Cursed Obelisk on two. We have options to go either direction we would like to go. Probably lead off with the Necroceptor, as is usually getting not relic removed that often here. And our opponent has the Pharaoh's Heirloom, which will indeed be able to peel the first portion of the zombie. They might be playing an Anubian-based deck, or a zombie-based deck. It's anyone's call, I guess. But we love the opportunity to slap that Necroceptor down. Generates value every single turn, an infinite value card. Already getting a 2-2 out right there. And posing the question to our opponent, do they have relic removal for this situation? And they say, I don't have relic removal. I've got my own tool. And they have their own Necroceptor here. They do make trade. Now, that's loss of life. I don't think that triggers the frenzy on the Necroceptor itself. It's an interesting rules situation that we're about to witness live here on tape delay. This was played prior, obviously. But they are roping here for some unknown reason. I'm guessing they are curious to why they're not frenzied. It's loss of life that occurred for the wretched Vanguard. Steal 1 health from your opponent's god. So they didn't actually damage me, per se. So they go ahead here. They get the zombie in play. I think we just play the Wicked Fae to peel here. That we actually go get wider doing this than playing the Cursed Obelisk, which is kind of strange. We get the 2-2 version of the solution, I should say, not the problem. Definitely the solution here. And we have early game board, which is nice to see. Though they have a Necroceptor, we have a Necroceptor. These are very likely to kind of just cancel each other out here. They have the Vile Reaver. They take out the Wicked Fae, which doesn't have Leech. I guess it's not very sexy to take out a zombie, but why would you not take out a zombie is the question that I have. I have a lot of questions. The Nethersworn Lord comes into play, and it's going to buff all of my zombies and make them all nice and juicy. I'm going to remove both of their minions. These are all going to get pumped, get frenzied from this, draw a card, get the value. You can hear the loud truck outside my stream potentially. Somebody is built Ford tough, I guess. And the Nethersworn Lord just generating value every single turn. Very good start to this game from our perspective. And kind of playing very similar list. They have a little bit more of an Anubian theme going here with the double early Pharaoh's Heirloom. Outnumber the Living looks very, very effective for our opponent. I don't see them getting any value out of this, though. The issue for them here is I will be able to purchase the Valkus Discovery, which is sitting in the Sanctum. The Valkus Discovery sitting in the Sanctum just actually wipes their board pretty clean. Though I will lose a lot of favor when I actually kind of gain favor playing that, I guess you could say. So yeah, a lot of zombies on the board. I just want to kill them all. You don't want to set up weird things like corpse explosions, which could potentially be somewhat problematic here. So when we play the Valkus Discovery, in one way we are kind of cycling the Sanctum, that is true. But on the other hand, we're killing a lot of minions here. And that might crash the game. It's dealing a lot of damage to a lot of zombies, removing a lot of sleep, even though none of the minions are asleep. It seems to does the remove animations anyways, so that's interesting either way. We are gaining a lot of favor and losing a lot of favor at the same time. There's so many interactions that happen on that turn. We got room and reason to play this, so all these do get buffed from the Nethersworn Lord. Again, unable to remove the Nethersworn that last turn was kind of critical. So that was a pretty big turn for us. Already have them down to 19 we are threatening lethal next turn if they don't have any tricks up their sleeve which prevent it. The Ruin of Strength in the Sanctum will indeed get us there if necessary. And it's just really hard for our opponent to get out of this spot. We just got a really good draw, quite frankly, in this game. Playing very similar decks. They don't have 6 mana, so they can't play Bifurcating Curse. They might be one turn off of potentially board wiping and potentially getting themselves back into this game. Okay, this cost 5 mana, so this will survive. Alright, here. So we want to Blight Bomb this minion. I think we may or may not have lethal here. This one's going to be a little bit tight. Let's see here. 7, 10, 13, 15. Okay, yeah, not going to be lethal, but going to be very annoying. So these go towards the face here. We grab the Ruin of Strength. Going to go ahead and buff this dude right on up there. And actually, we will have lethal. I did not calculate the favor, but I'm actually getting enough favor to buy the Vow this turn as well. So I didn't calculate it, but kind of just found it by process of elimination. Obviously, we're going face there and throwing everything we can at our opponent. And we go ahead and collect game number 1. Now going into game number 2, it looks like great minds think alike. They elect to pick nature as well. I picked nature here, and we are both playing nature. My deck is more or less mid-range. I wouldn't call it control, but it's kind of got some fast things to it. This is a very good hand. I can play this as an aggro deck this game for sure. I am going to be somewhat conservative on turn 1. You could argue using the Pip, but I have a lot of 6-drops. We've already seen myself draw Sudden Bloom. Getting out the Hog and the Beetle on 1, just, it's okay. It's not bad. And our opponent here has disconnected. So hopefully they get back here. Obviously, we're going first with a pretty good draw, and, you know, it's awkward this being, you know, me being the tournament host for a situation like this. Disqualifying my own opponents. It brings back conspiracy theories. So I would prefer if he just played and lost. It's a lot less conspiracy that way. Though I think chat would prefer the conspiracy. Everyone loves a good conspiracy theory, don't they? Alright, he's back, and he's back with a good play. He's got the Black Jaguar in play. So, that makes me wish I led with the Wild Hog, actually. So here, this line's going to look ugly, and they are going to achieve some sort of value on this play. But I can't let them just peel this. It's just bad for business. So they effectively got 2 charges off of my Faith Lane. Spent 1 less mana. But I do have 2 charges left on my Faith Lane. I just ate the 6 points of damage because I just don't care. And they have the Marshwalker and a double Marshwalker. Wow, very good open for Batman here. We have the option to play the Blade Fly. The issue with the Blade Flies is they kind of just get picked off here. I would like for the Wild Hog to be able to pick off one of these Marshwalkers, and we might play Pack Succession next turn. So we're going to conserve our Pip here. Sudden Bloom looking really bad in our opening hand here. Great open for our opponent. They're pipping out to 4 to a big frontline minion. So this is going to be a pretty decent, interesting moment here. The Pack Succession, what am I going to get? What's going to hit the Fabian Brawler? That is going to be the big question for the situation. And we're going to just go right to it. And we get a 5/5. That is a great result for me. We're going to try to have the Hog hit one of those, and it does not. This doesn't really want to hit either of these, so we're just going to sit there on that minion and pass. See, if we had actually hit there, we could have double hit and cleared one of the Broccolis, but this is a strong card. A Moonlight Charm, very annoying card. Very annoying card indeed. They're making a correct decision here in taking some time off to peel the Badger, or they're not. I don't understand committing 1 attack there and then being like, I'm not doing the second attack. They got me confused there. We draw. Sudden Bloom, which honestly might be one of the worst cards in the deck we could have drawn in this situation. So we definitely know that we want to eat a Marshwalker with this. That is an easy decision. And if this hits here, okay, so if this hits here, we can hit here, we can Rune of Strength here and try to hit here. All right. So the way we, oh wait, we can't do everything. If we go face, we can buy the Rune of Strength, but this is still somewhat problematic. I'm going to play the Rabid Bear without the Frenzy, hold back on this minion, and they're going to probably buff here. Ideally, that this attack still exists. Ideally. They have Aspect to the Pangolin, and they're going to make this minion really, really big. And we're staring at this Rune of Strength in the Sanctum. This can be a game-winning minion for our opponent. Look at all this confused stuff we have in play. This is just going to be an absolute, complete headache to deal with. And can I deal with it is going to be the question. It's going to get buffed from the Moonlight Charm. And this can be an absolute game wrecker. And they can't quite yet afford the Rune of Strength in the Sanctum. And what we want to do here is we want to buy the Rune of Strength. We can apply it here, but that doesn't really accomplish anything, does it? I'm going to try to go face with this guy, which does let us purchase this from the Sanctum here. We can play this. The issue here is this Marshwalker will be taking over. The Sudden Bloom next turn could be a key moment for me. We'll get something Twin Strike and +4/+4. And I'm just going to go ahead and attack with the Badger because it's not a bad result if the Badger dies. Very interesting moment in this game. Obviously, they're buffing this. They've got Aspect of the Pangolin on the Marshwalker. This is a type of minion that can just absolutely take over the entire game. It's going to run into here and take almost no points of damage. Very, very effective. Now, what I want to do is I want to clear off this minion and this minion so my Sudden Blooms are less bad. And honestly, killing off this minion is good too. If I can actually get rid of these three, it's a good thing. So, okay, Penguin's interesting too. Very interesting turn here. This goes face. Ruins or Dreams immediately. This goes there. And I would like this to hit here, but it doesn't. Alright, I think we got to see where the Sudden Bloom hits. It hits there, which is one of the worst places it could go. And then it hits the worst spot that it could hit. Oh boy. This is why we don't play Nature Chat. This does not listen. This is just like a comedy of errors at this point. This is, I think what they call a tragicomedy. Very tragic, not very comic. Oh boy. I mean, I think they have to do that attack, and you know, with the Archer, very tough decision. I'm going to go face because there's lines where we win the game by going face. It's probably going to be difficult for him to kill everything. Though, I mean, this attack here, that's a problem. Flat out a problem. Yep. So we got 5 extra points of damage by going face, then running in there. And that hits there, which is definitely the correct decision. We're definitely going to be playing Sudden Bloom. But then we gotta hope we don't hit the Marshwalker very, very early here. Yep, that's problematic. The thing is, the Sudden Bloom on this doesn't accomplish anything, and of course we don't even get the opportunity to do that. This will keep regenning up, and we're in trouble this game. Probably going to lose. Not a great game here. This is a very problematic minion. See where this guy hits. Hit there. Alright. I mean, this just finishes it off, though. So I'm trying to think through my deck. How do I deal with this? And I don't think I can. I think that Marshwalker just flat out wins them the game. You're pipping to 7, which is a scary number to pip to. I guess if I get Veil Warded Minotaur and then get something useful off of Veil Warded Minotaur, that would be good. Okay, that's a problematic minion. I can attack to the face, play Sudden Bloom, and then hit here, which doesn't feel very optimistic. I'm trying to think if there's a way I can get a wider board, but I don't think there is. So this goes face, this goes here. Of course, the extra damage hits there. I think next turn we have to play like Blayfly and Rune of Life. Another front line is pretty good for them. And this guy is going to get even bigger. This broccoli is winning, flat out winning them the game. And there's nothing I can really do about it. I can play this, which kind of delays them one turn, but doesn't really get me anywhere in this game, does it? I think the only thing I can do right now is play this and then gain 3 health, which could in theory have me survive at 1. I was trying to hit there, failed. So I'm just looking for miracle ways. If this is, so basically, here's the line. Okay, that line doesn't exist anymore. I was going to say the line was, if we had played Pangolin, killed the minion, and then all 3 went face, we could win with Form of Power. That line itself was very optimistic and is indeed impossible at the moment. So right now, our opponent just has lethal. There's no way to prevent it. We're at 1 for one point. We're at 1. They can peel, and then this minion does kill, indeed. And is there anything I can do to really make this situation spicy? No, there isn't. There's nothing I can do here. After losing game number 1, winning game number 1, losing game number 2, we enter game number 3 in a must-win situation already in round number 1. Definitely a situation potentially for the memes for everyone watching. Would love to see the number 1 seed go down, and in round number 1 would be good for the memes for sure. But we're here to spoil the dreams of the memes, and we're not doing a great job here in the mulligan. Very bad hand in the mulligan. We're facing Batman here, who is trying to make me look like Robin, I guess. I don't know. There's like a joke revolving around Batman and Robin. I don't know what the joke is, but one exists. Let's just put it that way. One indeed does exist. Let's go ahead and just get out the early contract broker here. It's very simple. Peel the minion. Don't let them have anything. Obtain the early board and have this bug here probably the entire game. Explaining okay, maybe not the entire game, but you never know with some of these GU bugs. They have the early game Ritual Rod, which can eat at the contract broker. So I have 2 lines this turn. I'm going to do with the simplest here, getting out the Dedicant and just trading here. Alright, this one gives us a net positive 6 favor. We gain 9, they gain 3. I'm going to hold back on the relic attack. It's just so awkward when they're at 30s. Like, do you give them something to do with the GP if they don't have anything else to do? But you could argue that going face allows myself to maybe pick up the Athenian Archer a little bit earlier. Arguments can be made for doing that attack, by the way. They go ahead and go face with the Ritual Rod, which I think we're very happy to see. Would love them to do that. Instead, then they play Writ of Law onto this minion, which is an interesting line. Second Ludia's Dedicant can produce a lot of cards. I'm going to go ahead and just play the Inconspicuous Carriage since I was planning on doing that anyways. Now I'm going to go face, click the favor here. We want to pick we want to pick from the Sanctum and then play the Ludia's Dedicant. The idea being we spent our favor, so options that combine both players' favors are now going to be advantageous for us. General idea behind that. So they can go ahead and peel there, but we can actually buy the Rune of Life and get pretty good value out of it. And that is exactly what we're going to do. Rune of Life heals my minion. Now we've got great board control here. I'm going to hold back on attacking with this. Again, looking for slightly more value. We've got the Dark Knives in hand. Playing the second Ludia's Dedicant is definitely something we definitely will be thinking about, because we can effectively use our God Power every turn to just draw 2 cards until they get rid of the situation. And a lot of the ways that these light decks like to deal with the situation is something along the lines of... Let's just get a zombie. Something along the lines of like Lips Are Sealed. But Lips Are Sealed isn't super effective for our opponent here. So we will get 2 cards from their deck, Writ of Law being one of them. And I'll go ahead and just go face with, yeah, with that. So I think we're off to a pretty good start here in this game. I think our opponent is geared more toward the later game. So Patient Priestess. This was former Dan the Dev's favorite GU card. A fun fact. A little bit of a fun fact. And we will go ahead and peel it in honor of Dan the Dev. I doubt he's watching, but if you're watching, hi Dan. And we're getting cards from our opponent's deck. We're getting 2 a turn just by utilizing the Ludia's Dedicant God Power. So that is going to be very annoying. Generating 2 additional cards a turn. It's really going to be hard for him to recover from that type of value, regardless of what type of deck he's playing. So the Protective Benediction, he can give this armor and protected, which is very reasonable. I am going to take a very simple line here. This plus this, and then these go towards the face. And this is very difficult for our opponent, as it does represent lethal. So we get through round number 1. I'm sorry to anyone who's wanting the memes of me losing in round number 1. We gave you a game. We gave you some excitement at game number 3. But ultimately, we will advance to the round of 128.